All right, y'all, I'm giving you an update on 3i Atlas because we're moving into the peak dates that my guides have given for the heightened energy that we are going to be experiencing from the energy that's being emitted from 3i Atlas, which is a conscious technology. So the dates that my guides gave me for the peak frequency disruptions were the 28th to the 31st of October. What they have actually said, because we've been moving through this period where we have been cut off in a certain sense from our ability to receive external messaging, external validation. For my intuitive or psychic peeps, it means that our ability to receive messages from our guides has been a little bit cloudy. Things have been unclear. Potentially this could even have been just, expressions within the body itself. So energetic disruptions within the energetic field of the body, which could have manifested in a variety of different means. That could have been digestive upsets, that could have been headaches, that could have been sleeplessness, irritability, brain fog. These are all things that these energetic disruptions could have brought in, which makes it harder for us to receive external messaging, because if we're not feeling well, it's really hard for us to be able to receive those kind of moments of clarity. And so what we're moving into now in the next couple of days, because this is the timing where the veil is the thinnest, classically, folklorically, but also what my guides have said for this timing is that this is when the veil is the thinnest, which means that these frequency disruptions, or the energy that is being emitted from 3i Atlas, is going to be the strongest. We actually act as part of the Earth grid. We are extensions of the Earth, which means that we are the grid itself. And so what happens with this, and what happens in portal timings in general, and when the veil is thin, it means that we are entering into a portal timing of a certain kind. And so our channel opens up and we become the anchor for the frequencies into the Earth grid. And so it doesn't mean that it bypasses us, it goes through us, and then it gets anchored into the grid. So for those of you that are noticing the uptick in the Schumann resonance, this is because solar activity reacts to Earth energy. Solar activity is not something that is just happening by itself. The solar activity and the Schumann resonance are a reaction to the frequencies that are occurring within the earthen consciousness, and it's a symbiotic reaction. So the sun and the solar activity is going to increase when there is more consciousness and higher levels of consciousness being integrated and anchored into the Earth grid. So that's why we're seeing this, and we're going to continue to see this over the next couple of days, these high levels of solar activity, upticks in Schumann resonance, as well as we are going to be experiencing higher levels of, psychic activity. This could mean seeing spirits. This could mean seeing, through the veil, but this also could just be, upticks in our ability to receive intuitive information. It's also going to be big up-levelings in our perception of reality, because that is what Ascension is. It is a deepening and a widening of our perception of reality. And when we have changes to that, that means that our consciousness is up-leveling. So when we have those moments of clarity, when we potentially are able to step out of limiting patterns that we've been in for long periods of time, when we understand ourself to be more of that which we are, which means more of our soul self, more of the completeness of that which we are. Most of us have come into this lifetime as a clogged artery. And each time we release a pattern, each time we release a limiting belief, each time we release, karma or density, emotional or energetic blockages within the body, the artery is becoming clearer and clearer. And when it is completely clear, that is us in our ascended state. There is no more blockages. There is just a free flow of energy and a free flow of our complete understanding of ourselves as that aspect of source consciousness, and the aspect of source consciousness with a particular role that we came here to play. And so we're going to be experiencing expansions through this portal timing over the next couple of days. Typically, when we experience big expansions like that, it means that we have to go into an integration period. So this is not the ascension point. This is, however, for the individuals that are going to be in the first wave of ascension, this is the last expansion timing before we move into that first wave of ascension. And so what that means is that, and for everybody, this isn't just for the people that are moving through the first wave, but we're going to be experiencing big expansion, which means that we're going to have to be clearing out a larger layer of density on the other side of that expansion. And so with all integration periods, we typically find ourselves moving back into density, moving back into patterns. So many of us want to cling on to the expansion that we experienced in the expansion timing, but we always have to go back down to clear out the lower part of the cycle that we find ourselves in. So if we move up into a higher version of expansion, we have to come back down and we have to clear out that layer, that timeline, and that frequency, that density that we might still be holding on to, and giving it that kind of final purge out so that we can finally anchor into that higher vibrational embodiment on the upswing of that same cycle. And so moving into November, it looks like there's going to be this kind of frenetic energy. And frenetic energy is potential energy. And so we can either take because we will be coming at it with new perspectives, with new clarity. And so we can either understand all of the things that have come out or come up within us through the experiences that we've had over the last month, where we have been experiencing more of this cut-off energy. And it's going to mean that we are potentially, given opportunities to step into these higher versions of self, or step into the roles that we signed up to play prior to incarnation. So many of us are going to be given the opportunities to, step onto the timelines that we desire, that are our highest vibrational timelines for some of our, biggest manifestations to come in, because this last timing has been all about clearing out the nitty gritty, clearing out the last kind of pieces of fear and of lack or limitation that we potentially weren't seeing because we were so busy projecting our consciousness outward. And this last month has forced us inside, has forced us to be in a state of presence. And so we're going to be given the opportunity through, as we're moving through that integration and potentially still experiencing some of the density that needs to be purged and integrated, we're also using that frenetic potential energy to propel us on and into opportunities that are going to assist us in anchoring ourselves onto the highest vibrational timeline. So every time we move into a higher timeline, how we do that is through choices. And so we are potentially going to be given opportunity or choices that are going to allow us to be able to anchor into those new timelines. And that's coming in potentially through manifestations coming through. And so it has the ability, November has this energy of having the ability to kind of go, like, it's going to have a lot of stuff going on, like denser and non-denser energy. And that frenetic potential energy is like, you get to choose how you are interpreting this energy and how you are going to move forward with the energy that's being presented to you. And so utilizing this timing, the timing over the next couple of days in particular, to plant the seed of the manifestation and of the highest timeline that you are desiring to move toward. Because when we're in these portal timings, the space between dimensional planes is a lot thinner, which means that we can put in higher dimensional manifestations and have them come through with more ease, because we're planting them from a higher and quicker moving timeline. And when we try and plant seeds from a denser timeline, things take longer to manifest. So when we utilize this space where things have more of a free flow, we get to receive these higher level manifestations coming through with more ease. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the update. I love you all and have a beautiful rest of your day.